I was gonna send him a pair of my underwear in the mail, but here's the add-on: worn underwear.
How many days?
6 hours. Like just enough to say I wore it, but not enough to say ma queste femmina. But you know what? We're warmed up. We're fucking warmed up.
Can I just
ready to go?
Can I have one of your boyfriend's Nesquiks?
I thought you were gonna say, can I have one of your boyfriends? I was like, sorry, all my boyfriends are taken. Can't have them. One for every day of the week.
But how does that work though? Okay, if me or one of your close friends were to date somebody that you dated in the past, would you be mad at them? You're like, you just took a twist on this whole episode.
Honestly, okay, I say my answer is going to be no, I wouldn't care. But I only say that because it's never happened to me. And I think the day that somebody, but also I don't care. Once I'm done dating you, I literally don't give a shit about you anymore. So if one of my friends wants to date you.
After I spoke all kinds of shit about you,
you
go ahead and you go after all.
Called your dick small? She can have you.
But also the person who makes fun of your dick small but also dated you for 2 years, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. You said thank you, sir.
You were okay with it for 2 years, so you were fine with it. Everybody always says they were the worst, they were this after the fact. Shut the fuck up.
He was obviously good enough for you.
But yeah, I think if you've dated them, I think there's like a time limit.
Would you be mad though? Yeah, time limit.
It depends what happened, how we ended, and if we're friends now or...
So many factors.
There's so many factors.
It's a questionnaire.
But also like... It depends. If you've dated somebody for 2 years and you went your separate path, you don't want to start fucking going to dinner and doing a dinner date and you have to see your fucking ex-boyfriend all the time and your fucking poor friend dating him and going through the same issues you went through.
And also, let's say he cheated on you or something and then your friend goes and date him. Like, that's like, what the fuck? Like, no respect, you know? Because you should have your friends back. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it ended bad and he was disrespectful. Like,
I think, if they've... Look, if it's somebody you fancied or somebody you were down for or you hooked up with them, whatever, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
What? You own everybody in this world? Like,
you don't understand. I hate people like that. Yeah, it's just because I was talking to him. Okay, bitch. I was talking to all of Montreal. You don't see me gatekeeping them.
No, but actually, I think there's like a certain time frame. Like if somebody was dating them for like 2 years, look, there's a fucking million other people in the world. Don't go after them. But if you hooked up with them once and there was no like actual like feelings or one caught feelings on the other and it didn't last long, like when you call dibs on every single guy, it's like, shut up. No. Shut up that your friend went for one and you're pissed at her.
And I also hate the people that are like, literally they spoke for like 2 minutes, didn't even hook up, nothing, and are like, well, it's just because he was talking to me. Yeah. I'm like, I literally don't care. People, honestly... in our generation, everybody talks to everybody. At some point,
everybody's spoken to everybody. It's a compliment.
It's this. You flirt one day or 100 days. At some point, you've spoken to the people that are around you. To the hot guys, you've probably all flirted with them once or twice. So I hate those bitches that are like, oh yeah, it's just because like he was in my DMs. Yeah. Okay, bitch. You were in his DMs. I'm in your fucking DMs.
Your fucking boyfriend now was in my DMs. Like, let's just call truth.
Like, it's just like, I don't... Truth.
Yeah, it's fucking hard today.
But I don't care. And I hate people like that because I'm also like, first of all, I don't care.
But I also get the person who, like, dated somebody for a long time. Yeah. And, like, you know, like, crazy story. But my actual godmother, she was dating this guy in Italy. And whatever, she was, like, in love with him. They did it for 3 years. They ended up breaking up. And her cousin who lived in Italy, when she went to visit her or whatever, she went back to Italy and her cousin didn't know how to tell her that she was dating her ex-boyfriend.
Oh my God.
So
that's like,
then they ended up getting married and then she met somebody else in Montreal and then they had to all double date. So like, I get how my godmother was like super uncomfortable and it was her fucking cousin. Like, I just feel like, don't keep it in the fam. Like,
that's happened to me before though.
Really?
Well, not directly, but there's been times where like I've been like,
thank God I have brothers and all my cousins are guys. I don't have this issue, but like if you come from a broad ass, like a bunch of hot sisters, cousins, you're in the fucking dooms. Yeah. Somebody spoke to somebody.
It is though. And you know what? I don't really care and I don't like, I'm so not that person. Like, obviously there's the extent, like if one of my close friends is gonna go after my ex-boyfriend 2 minutes after I dated them, that's a problem. But if now one of my friends would date my ex-boyfriend, I'd be like, I literally don't care. I have no heart. I would literally be like, sick, let's all party together. Like I'm not like that. And I feel like it's a little bit annoying when people are over situations that don't really matter.
Yeah, because sometimes two people are just like not meant for each other,
and it's also
and somebody else might be for them or for a period of time. Like, shut up, focus on yourself. Yeah. There's a million guys out there. Like, clearly you guys broke up, you weren't for each other.
I hate people that are like, there's so many guys, why'd you have to pick him? I'm like, okay, nobody goes and says, that's the one, I'm gonna take her ex-boyfriend. Like, it just happens. Everybody
I mean, there are girls like that, but yes.
There are girls that are like, I'm gonna take your trash.
Yeah.
But like,
usually as a girl, like we can say that as girls we're super like in tune. Like we know when something's up. We know when like our boyfriend at the time or whatever finds a girl pretty, or like, you know, that they would kind of ish be their type. So like if you break up, like how shocked could you be? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what anything. When we broke up, okay, I was going through a stage of like partying all kinds, and I was going to like summer parties, whatever. And I'm so in tuned and I catch on and I pick up to everything. Like, yes, girls are, but I think I'm actually like another level. Psychic. But just being at a party and a girl looked at me and looked away, I was like, I'm no longer my boyfriend, and I know she's speaking to him. Like, I know it's really fucked up. I know, I swear to God, I think it's actually crazy of me. And then like down the line, I found out they did speak for a bit, and I'm like, wow, like, I don't want to call myself like a fortune teller, but like I think as a girl, because we're a certain way, we know how other girls react and other girls are, because that's kind of how we would be too. Yeah. So it's almost easier to pick up on a girl, and that's why I think guys go, wow, girls are actually crazy. They see it's like, no, we know what we do, so we know how another girl would act.
But we just realize, because guys don't think before they do stuff, and that's why they do dumbass shit. Yeah. But like, they also don't realize what they're doing. And girls calculate everything. Like, a girl's very calculated. She's not gonna bring up something unless she thought it fucking through, unless she has her notepad with the dates and times of when something happened. Like, and that's why we know what's happening around us at all times, so you can pick out the people that are and also, you know, your boyfriend's type. Like,
like, you just you know just by the way a girl looks, by the way she like her position in that party, like, it's just, you know.
I want to just say, if there's one thing that I have like zero respect for when it comes to like friends and stuff like that, it's really girls who know you're dating somebody and still like want to make their presence known, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying they're flirting, but I'm saying they want, and guys never realize this, never. But like,
oh, she's so nice, or they don't get it. I'm like,
oh, you're just being crazy. I'm like, no, I just know girls. Like, I know girls. Like, I know a girl who's just being friendly and hitting compliments, and I have no problem with it, because really it's like harmless. But I know what that bitch is up to, and I'm like, I don't have reason to hate you, but I definitely don't like you anymore, because I'm like, disrespectful. Like, fuck off, leave my relationship alone.
And then you end up checking their phone that night.
You see she wrote back to his pic, and you say, fall asleep, babe, fall asleep.
Let me just go through your phone. But let me tell you, there's nothing like going through someone's phone. Like, your heart beats, like, I want to compare it to something, but I'm not sure what. Honestly, I want to say drugs, but I've never done drugs.
It reminds me of this time that I got caught stealing at Walmart. The fear that goes through your body, it's like your asshole is going, it's like, hurry up. You're just trembling all over. Like, you hear a sound.
You're almost like tripping. You almost like drop the phone. Your hands are like sweating.
Yeah, you're sweating. You're trying to make sure that everything's happening right.
But if you guys are watching and you've never went through your boyfriend's phone, then you're probably in a super healthy relationship, and you should probably clock out here. Honestly,
you could just listen and agree with everything we're gonna say. Yeah. I think there's seasons and everything, just like there is in a relationship. And I think I'm not going through my boyfriend's phone every week. Like, it's happened like once, twice, maybe. But
tell me when you go through somebody's phone that you don't want to go a million times after, especially if you find something. If you don't find something, you want to just like prove to yourself that you can find something.
There's no winning with going through someone's phone. So no, honestly, if you're listening and you have that healthy, solid ass relationship, listen and don't ever go through their phone. And I will tell you all the motherfucking reasons why. Step one, reason number one, because it's literally addicting. You know how when you get one tattoo, you want 100? This is the same thing. Because once you get access to all this information, like, you know, you have this feeling that you know everything. You have to keep chasing that feeling. Because as soon as you don't look at their phone, you think, oh my God, now
what did I miss in this week?
What did I miss? Maybe somebody messaged him. Maybe this. So you can't have access. Nobody should have that much access to somebody's personal life. You shouldn't have to know everything that's going on in their life. And once you do, you feel like you always need to know to feel secure that nothing's happening. So
speaking as the girl who's went through somebody's phone.
Speaking through experience is what I'm saying. But no, I think like it's really a really bad, obviously we all have that breaking point where we're just like, we did it. We did it and I regret it, but I still did it. But I just think it's one of the hardest things to get over, like stop yourself from doing. Like you literally have to, it's almost like battling an addiction. You literally have to have the willpower to not do it. Because every time after you're going to be left alone with their phone, the first thought that's going to come through your mind is, should I check their phone? And this is the answer. The answer is motherfucking no. Okay? No, don't do it, bitch. Don't fucking do it.
I think a lot of people though tend to go through phones. Okay, obviously every scenario can like be different and stuff, but I think a lot of times the first time somebody goes through their phone is because they're feeling insecure or something happened and they just either want to like make sure everything's good, and then they say to themselves, I just want to check once and just see, like, confirm like we had a bad week or whatever, like what was he up to? Is he really there through thick and thin, or is he just like chasing something else on the side?
Especially when something bad happens, you automatically, I don't know if you're like this, but for me, like if we fight or something, I'm automatically like, oh my God, he's gonna start talking to other people because we're in a fight or because this. I guess I don't know why I have that thought, but for me, that's my panic. When we start fighting, I think, oh my God, he's probably talking to other girls because he doesn't like me right now. And then I feel like that's a moment of weakness where you would do it, or you think something. And
it's normally something within yourself.
Usually it's because of a reason. But if you're just bringing your toxic ass baggage from another relationship, then don't fucking do it. Because honestly, never do it. Never do it. But the one rule, the golden ticket to being allowed to go through somebody's phone is if you have other facts against them.
Yes.
And you're just, you're doing like a lawyer.
Yeah, and as a guy, they're always going to lie. So you want that actual proof
screenshot
to be like, I'm leaving you, and you could feel sorry for yourself.
I totally agree, because I've seen girls find out their boyfriend was cheating or anything like that, but they don't have the actual facts. And guys are master manipulators. Yeah. Girls too. Yes. But when you're in that position and you're a cheater, you're going to twist the story back and forth until they literally think that they're just crazy. So sometimes I give you the go ahead. Get those fucking screenshots. Get that proof. Because sometimes you just need it. You need to see it. You need to be like, no, look. Like, you can't make this up. This is real, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think even though being a girl, like, we are super, like, how do I say this? Like, we get, like, sometimes we know nothing's wrong or nothing's there, but, like, we're just, like, we almost become too, like, okay, but let me just see. Let me just see for myself. Like, we know, but we're going to make something of anything, and that's just it.
I'm really the type, and that's going through phones. You will go through their phone, and I promise you, they could be a saint, but you will find something that will piss you off. Yeah. And you know
whether it be something you saw before you were dating that's just going to bother you and disturb you. And then you can't talk to them about it because then you're blowing up your cover and you can never go through their phone again if something actually happens. So it's just like a false alarm. So you just keep it within yourself. You hate yourself.
You hate them.
You hate them. They say something and you're like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
And then the next time something little's going to happen, you're going to blow up and they're going to be like, why are you so mad?
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, because you fucking texted fucking Brittany. And you're like, what? Like, but you can never say it. So honestly, there's so many little things. And even one thing that I realized, even when you don't find something, you start going through your mind like, oh my God, he's deleting everything. He's hiding everything. He's deleting. I promise you guys, if you don't find something, you will think that. Yeah. So my best advice would be to not fucking do it. And I've had both sides. So when I first started, my first boyfriend ever was super, super not jealous. It was both our first serious
You got a good experience. Did you check his phone?
So that's the thing. So he was really not jealous. He never ever seemed like he would go through my phone. He was never like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you? This and that. Like he had zero,
which kind of made you go through his.
No, I mean, he had zero tendency to be jealous. Like not an ounce of jealousy in him, because
you gotta be in the middle, boys. You gotta
give a little spice.
You can't be super, super chill and not jealous at all, because then it's like, hey, you don't care. And then if you're super jealous, it's like, you're crazy, I'm not listening to you, and I'm gonna rebel. It's like holding a dog on a leash and then letting go. They're gonna fucking run. But if you train them to like be able to set free, go out for dinner with their friends and enjoy like
the dog's going out for dinner with his friends.
Anyways, they're not gonna run.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying 100%. But no, so my first boyfriend, he was like super chill, not jealous at all, and it was both like our first relationship, so there was no baggage coming from anybody. We were just like pure. We were literally two little angels. Okay.
Wow.
And I remember, I think I went through his phone maybe once, and honestly, I felt horrible doing it, but it was out of curiosity. I wasn't even looking for something. I was just like,
killed the bull.
I just want to know. And I think it lasted 20 seconds.
Did you find anything?
No, because I didn't even look. I remember checking messages, and they were like, oh,
but also that was a different era.
Not a different era, but it was just like, I was at a different point in my
life. Instagram wasn't really a thing then. It was?
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
I was like 17 or 18.
Okay, so but it wasn't like now where you see like guys like girls' pictures and you're just like, are they talking? Like, no, it's more
I think it was just my relationship and where it was and the people we were that I wasn't worried. But, and it didn't exist in my mind almost to be jealous. That's how like pure I was. I didn't have the thought.
But you went through his phone.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, I literally did it out of like a Curious George style. Like I just want to see, and then I went, nah. And then I put it away because I was so like, I didn't have the thought to be jealous. I never thought to myself, what is he doing? Maybe he's doing this. It didn't exist in me yet.
Yeah.
And then, but there's always that relationship that'll teach you what jealousy is.
Yeah. But it's normally because they make you feel like
a certain way.
Certain way, and that's why
somebody makes you feel. Look, if you've never been in a relationship and you don't have any sort of trust issues with friends or whatever, you're gonna go into a relationship and not have trust issues. You know what I mean? You take what you have experienced, you bring it on with you. That shit is baggage.
So have you ever been in a relationship where like a guy was super jealous more than you, and you almost felt like you had to do it back to them because they were doing it to you?
Yeah. I mean, that's my second relationship. So once I got out
of every relationship will teach you something.
There's definitely like a rule. Like you always have to have that one toxic relationship, that one innocent relationship, and that one like crazy relationship.
Just for you to realize you were good with the first guy.
So, and then I had my second boyfriend who came from before me, a toxic relationship. You know, was a very jealous, possessive person, had that in him. And I was coming in fresh, like literally innocent, didn't know anything
fresh
about
out the womb.
Fresh out the womb. And so I got into that relationship, like not knowing any better about anything. And I remember the first time he went through my phone. And
my God, I feel like he stripped you naked there.
Fuck. I think it gave me the insight to understand what it's like to be the person getting their phone, which is
But you still went through somebody's phone after that. So did you really learn?
Did I learn my lesson? I'm gonna blame him. So I remember the first time we were literally at my house, and it was like a month we were dating, and I was in my room chilling. He was in the bathroom for like 10 minutes, came out, threw my phone on the bed. I was like, hold up.
That's a short time to go through someone's phone though. Because I feel like a month in is still like the honeymoon stage, and like you're still like, hey, like he didn't get enough of me yet. Like I feel like normally people start to feel that way later on when it's like, okay, like is he fed up of me? Is he like over me?
A lot of guys, sorry, a lot. And I'm not gonna say a lot of guys, but some guys actually are more insecure in the beginning of the relationship because they don't feel like they have you on lock yet.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I think he had that character where I was such a free spirit, like no commitment, nothing. Like I think he had that where he was more insecure in the beginning. Well, let me tell you, he was insecure. Not insecure, but
yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, Veronica, that guy was insecure from the very beginning. He was
jealous the whole way through, but I think because it happened so early, I think it was just like that. He wanted me on lock, you know. So, anyways, throws my phone on the bed, and I was like, "What the?" Like it was the first time in my life anyone even brought the idea that I could be unfaithful to the table or didn't trust me. Like I was so used to my whole life being trusted by everyone because I'm a trustworthy person that I was like, what? You don't trust? How could you possibly not trust me? And that was how our relationship went pretty much the whole time. But I will say that at a certain point, somebody can change you, and I'm
I'm
go
like,
easy
wait,
on
what?
the change you. But I mean, like, at a certain
Rewind.
point, at a certain point, when somebody's always being jealous, like towards you and being possessive and going through your phone, you almost start they awaken that quality in you.
Absolutely, because you know what? The person who is super insecure and whatever is, I don't want to say 95% of the time, but 95% of the time, the one who's actually doing something. And that's the reason they don't trust you, is because they know what they're doing. So they want to go through your phone to see what's up.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're actually fucking around, or they're talking to
or
other
they
people.
could think about it, or they tapped in the past. Guys who are cheaters, guys who have cheated on their girlfriend in the past, goes into a new relationship. So even if they're not cheating on that girl in specific, they're literally super jealous because they're like, oh my God, you're going to cheat on me because I cheated on my ex. You know what I mean? So it's little things that carry on.
Yeah.
So basically it was really crazy for me to be in a relationship like that. And I think that that's where I got my jealous, whatever jealous side I have now definitely came from that relationship, because you do learn things. And at a certain point, when somebody's always accusing you of something, you're like almost like, okay, well, then you start doing it back, and you start feeling like you don't really know what to trust anymore. But I've realized that you need to leave one relationship and leave every single thing with that relationship. Don't bring bad tendencies onto a new one, because that's the quickest way to
so for
ruin a
anybody
relationship.
listening, what would you suggest? Okay, like, because it's very easy to be said, you know, like you go into a new relationship and you've been cheated on, or you've been lied to, whatever. So now you're already your guards up going through into another relationship. How do you not become like that? How do you work on that? Because it's actually a battle.
It's a battle. No, it's no easy road.
Yeah.
But here's what I say. It's either, these are your two options. You know, okay, sorry, your three options. Everything works out and you guys are great. Or you're jealous and you start accusing them of something they didn't do. And they start hating you. You start hating them. You start being jealous. You ruin the relationship. Okay? That's going in with trust issues. You ruin the relationship. Yeah. Or 3, turns out that he wasn't a trustworthy guy and he hurts you. But
what are tips? What are tips?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying you need to go into a new relationship and realize that if you do this, you're ruining it before he can even have the opportunity, let's say, to ruin the relationship. If you go in with trust issues, you ruined the relationship. You did. You ruined it. Yeah. But if you go in blank state and give somebody a fresh chance, and as hard as it is to do, guys, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you don't go in at 100% of trust, then you're gonna ruin everything.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of times people say, you know, when you get out of a relationship, give yourself time to heal. No matter what happened in the relationship, there's always no relationship's perfect. So you learn from that. You're like, hey, what do I not want in my next relationship? And you just give yourself the time to actually fully get over it and move on. And, you know, even if it's like seeing them with another girl or whatever, like you take that time. And then when you go in your next relationship, I think time really heals everything.
Yeah, time heals
that
everything.
would be like the number one key, I would
I
say.
also like I just briefly said, and I just thought it's always been my motto, is when I meet somebody new or new relationship, whatever, most people, when you meet somebody, you need to gain their trust. Okay? Usually your trust starts at 0. They gain your trust. For me, and what I found works, and what is something that I feel like I would recommend to everybody, is when you meet somebody new and you get into a new relationship, your trust should start at 100%.
Yeah.
You should always have 100%
what happens
trust.
when you get to the relationship and you're at 50 and then 20 and then 15 and then you're at 1% and you're like, Veronica, please, I'm going to hold on to that 1%. It's kind of like when you're playing Never Have I Ever and you're like ripping it and you're like, never have I ever. Make one more paper so it's, I have.
But yeah, no, honestly, guys, go in at 100%, because
okay, and then they do something and what, you're at 80? Like, how does that work?
Yes, exactly. That's how it should work. You go in at 100%. If somebody makes you lose trust in them, boom, that goes down. But you shouldn't start at 0 and say, prove yourself.
Okay, so
that's not how you go into a relationship.
So your little scale there, is it 20% going down each time? Or I want to have a clear
Depends
example.
the offense. I mean, like, gauge it. But I do think
the thing is, I get what you're
100.
saying, but then I also feel like, let's say, look, they do something and whatever, and they didn't gain your trust and they lost a little bit of your trust. A lot of times it's like, what? Then you're gonna be like bitter towards the situation and you're gonna ruin it also still.
No, but what I'm saying is you start at 100. If they do something to break that, your trust goes down,
okay,
of course. But you can always build it back up.
A perfect example, okay? You're with somebody, they cheat on you. They go from 100, I would say, straight to 1.
Straight to -0.
I want to say 0, but I'm just saying they go really down, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you decide to stay with them. Yes, you have every reason to be like, to have your guard up and be like, you lost my trust. But how do they gain it if you don't go in there saying, okay, let's say you're giving them another chance for whatever reason. You can't be in there like, I lost your trust. Because yes, you could be like that, but
fine.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, you could be like that, but then if you're deciding to give somebody a chance, you actually you can't be bringing something up all the time, because it's toxic, that too. But then you're hurt and
yes, that's why I don't recommend.
That's why if they cheat on you, you fucking bounce.
Yeah, I think, see, I'm not somebody who says like they cheated on you, go back to them, because I do agree with you. I do agree that you can't go in at 0, and it's sad to say, but it's true. And like, yes, sometimes people do stuff and they do have to gain your trust back. I'm not saying you always have to bite the bullet and go back in full pin, but if somebody cheats on you and you're willing to get back with them, you can't hold it over their head forever because you took the choice. So you have to come in at least at 50%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Figure your shit out and then go back with them. But I do think people make a lot of mistakes and they expect that they go into something and then they get the trust. But I'm like, that's not how that works. No. You go in, you have the trust.
No, you're actually really, it's really true. And I actually learned something today, Veronica.
They don't call me
So
Miss
guys,
Rossi
you go in
nothing.
there with your $100 bills, and every time they take a 20, you have no more 100, you bounce.
So I just want to say a funny story.
So everybody bounce from your boyfriends, because every fucking boyfriend's done something for us to fucking bounce. I'm kidding. Girls are angels. We've never done anything.
So girls, we're a different breed, you know?
We're a different species.
But no, so I have a funny story. So literally, speaking of being a jealous bitch, being a not jealous bitch, as I say. So I'm literally in the car with my boyfriend this week, and we're driving and we're like picking up food, and he's sitting like facing me, you know, like he's sitting in the passenger side kind of looking towards me.
Yeah.
So he's on his phone and he's like on his phone just scrolling, but he's like facing me. So I'm like, bitch, what is this guy doing? Like, why is he looking at his phone and not at me? So, and like, you know what I mean? Why is he faced that way looking at his phone? Yeah. So I'm just like watching him and I'm like, okay, driving, trying to see the lights, but also trying to see in the fucking reflection of the window what's going on in that phone.
Us girls,
and
we're
then,
nuts.
So we pull over and I'm just like kind of like, hey, weird, whatever. So then after we pull over and I'm like, and I just do the little, you know, like the little head check, and he automatically puts the phone away and hides it. And I went, excuse me. Like I went, what are you sketchball doing there? And honestly, I don't feel like he's doing anything wrong. So I'm just teasing it at this point. You know what I mean? I'm just like, hey, what are you doing? Like, show me, you know?
Yeah, it became a game.
It became like, I was just actually
like we said, fighting is important.
You know, you got to spice it up sometimes. So I was like 20% serious. So I'm like teasing. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I was sketch. And then he starts being like, it was not sketch. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like I was looking at football. I'm like, so why'd you do like that? He's like, oh. And then I'm like, okay, whoa. And then he's like, honestly, like, you think that if I was doing something bad, I would do it right in front of you.
You're like, what?
No, I went, hold on a minute.
So what the fuck do you do when you're in the bathroom? Hold on a second. I wasn't going to actually take your phone, but give it to me right fucking now.
Pass that shit over live. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you trying to make the situation better or worse? Because now I'm pissed.
That's how you know he's not actually doing anything wrong. Because if he was, he wouldn't be saying something like that. He would be like, I swear. And
he would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he went, you think? I'll be in the back doing
we literally sound like the mob.
But yeah, I was like, oh my God, boys are so dumb sometimes with what they say.
Yeah.
So we keep fighting and I'm like, now I'm pissed. Because now I'm like, no, you're not telling your story here. You're making it worse, actually. So we keep fighting. And then what he says is, babe, you know me. If I had something to hide, you would never find out about it. You think I'm that bad at doing something? You think like I'm that stupid?
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, now we have an issue. And you know what? It's like deep. I know genuinely that he was doing nothing wrong. That he's not, you know, there's nothing sketch about
There's nothing
situation.
sketch. I'll
But
check
I'm
his
like,
phone later before we go to bed.
That
But
you're saying that, I want to hit you in the face. Like, now what am I supposed to think? What the fuck? Now I know that you are so good at hiding. Now I'm pissed. Now I'm even more pissed. Now we're in a fight because you said that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I just want to confirm that I'm not crazy, but my boyfriend just says stupid shit. Anyways, I swear guys don't think about what they say. They just say, "Zuh," and then they...
I mean, some guys think about what they say. I think your boyfriend just has like verbal diarrhea. He's like
innocent.
But didn't do anything. Like,
you think that I would do this right in front of you? Bitch, I hope so.
So at least I can catch it.
I don't want you to be good at that.
Oh my
God. But
I
don't condone going through phones. And
yeah.
every time
unless
I've done
you really know something's up
Yeah,
and
like
you're on like your last 20%.
Your last 5.
Your last 5. Well, we move in 20s apparently, so.
You made that up. But I just think like nothing good ever comes
unless
out of
it's
it.
cheating. You don't move 20%.
Yeah.
What do you have? 4 chances to cheat? Absolutely not.
100 divided by 5 is not 4, by the way. It's 5.
Whoops.
But as we know, we're not
I'm
mathematicians.
actually not that bad at math, so that's weird.
But you guys don't come here for the fucking educational shit, so it's
You
good.
definitely
Fine.
don't. Last week when Andy was like, what's 75
150
hours
minus
minus
3?
I was like, I hope you calculated this all before you came here.
Yeah, I was like, I hope you have the answers because I don't, so don't look at me.
What's 7 times 5? We're like, it's not 35. We don't know.
Like, 2 seconds. But I just think, like, I swear, going through somebody's phone, nothing good ever comes out about it. You're actually you're pissed at them. It ruins the relationship.
You get pissed at them. Whether
And-
you find something or not.
Yeah.
It could be something, like I said, like before you started dating. And it's just like,
there's
it'll
no curing
disgust
it
you.
either.
And you can't speak about it. It's
Can't
just
speak
the
about
whole mess.
And then you talk about it, and then it fucks up the trust.
And then you have like a group of friends who are so for it because they're living for the drama also.
Yeah,
so they pump you up, and then who's losing in the
You're
end?
losing.
You.
Honestly, guys.
Your sleepless nights are because while your friends are sleeping well because they got the answer.
Honestly, guys, that's another thing. Like, yes, our intuition is fucking amazing because we're girls. It must come when you get a fucking pair of tits. You just also get the intuition chromosome.
That's why my intuition is like so good because my tits are big.
Exactly.
Bang!
Bang! Double D's.
Guys, don't fuck with me. My intuition is, I can tell the weather.
Literally.
Okay, Gretchen Wiener.
But yeah, no. So honestly, as much as we think our intuition is amazing, sometimes it's also influence. Like,
Yeah.
I have friends
Yeah.
that'll hype up a situation that you're almost breaking up with your boyfriend because he put a smiley emoji instead of a heart emoji.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand. I have friends that are like, he didn't answer you in 3 hours? Well, call him right now and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm gonna not do
I think
that.
it also, like, just like the world we live in, like liking posts, all this shit, like, I
Social
think these are
media.
all things, like social media, these are all things that really trigger us to be like, well, what's going on? If it's a follow, if it's a like, and I feel like I made this like pact with my boyfriend that I was never going to, because I don't like to be told what to do. Like, if I'm on Instagram and I follow guys too, whatever, I can have guy friends.
Yeah, but
I can
I stop you there? Do you think... Can I stop you? What am I, Kanye West?
apparently.
No, what I wanted to say is, I also, though, don't find that like, really, what's the worst thing you could like about a guy's post? A guy topless. Like, guys are not on Instagram the same way that girls are on Instagram.
Well, that's the thing, and
So
that's
it's very
why I
different.
think like I think that's why there's more insecure girls out there because there's so many options in girls. There's so many naked chicks. There's so many hot girls. There's like
girls are hot.
I
Guys
feel like
are-
there's more hot girls than there are guys, and girls are like more. I don't know.
It's more of a physical thing. A guy, you would meet a guy in person and find them hot, and you don't. Girls don't necessarily like fiend over guys online because guys are like more the type of person that like you meet them, their attitude is hot, they're like their jokes, so that's what makes them hot. But like for a girl, really like what guys look at first and foremost, sorry to say, but is your look. So Instagram is literally that. It's just it's just, you know,
it's just a feed of like naked girls,
hot ass
girls,
bitches,
and it's like, like, does it bother you when like for me, it's like, it doesn't bother me, like if my boyfriend were to be liking all my friends' pics, I'm actually like, why didn't you like it? Like, you should like it, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it's somebody that I don't really know or like an ex-girlfriend, I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I don't want, because sometimes what it is like we were speaking about this before, is like
when we lost the footage.
When we lost the footage is that like a girl, like girls are really like, what's the word? Like they'll be like, oh, he liked my pic, like he wants me, you know what I mean?
Majority
and
of the
being
time,
a girl who's like dating a guy, like you don't want to ever look like an idiot. And sometimes girls like to perceive things and like to be like, oh, I spoke to him once a long time ago before they dating, like like
he still likes my pictures.
He still likes my pictures. Like it's like, and as girls, like we know how girls, because we're a girl, can be. That's why we rather just eliminate that. And it's like it's more selective with the kind of pictures that we are like okay with.
I also think that like for girls, a lot of the time it's not necessarily that we think our boyfriend is cheating on us because he liked the girl's picture. It's more like you're saying what the actual girl's gonna think, and
you don't want to look like an idiot.
And girls, we know how girls are, and guys don't understand that. Just like they say, all your guy friends want to fuck you. Sure, you can think what you want, but I know how a girl works, and I know what it is for a girl. You know what I mean? But I think, you know what? I'm not a like overly jealous person. I would say I'm very regular or low jealous. But the only
is this after your second relationship or after he became crazy, or
but
a little bit of toxic, a little bit of clean?
You know, you gotta spice it up. A little bit of something for everybody. The only thing that would bother me, like I don't care if my boyfriend likes pictures, like my friends' pictures, whatever. Yeah. The only thing that really bothers me is if it's like, and even like famous chicks who are half naked, I don't even care. Okay. But if it's a girl that he's seen before, he slept with, was speaking to, and I don't care if you like a regular picture.
But then, Veronica, that's their whole Instagram account. Realistically, it's their whole fucking Instagram. No, they almost dated. Somebody they were seeing. Somebody they went on a date with.
Okay, if you slept with somebody, let me put it at that. If you slept with somebody, and like I said, I'm not talking about her family picture. If you like, I don't give a shit. But if you're liking her thirst trap, thong, bikini, topless picture,
you're letting her know that you're still around.
There's a line. Let's draw a line.
I agree.
And I happened.
Did you have this conversation with your boyfriend?
Well, only because it happened once, and I was like, "Look, I really don't give a shit." But I was just like, "She's naked in this picture, and you banged her. Like, maybe don't like it. Like, look, I'm not mad, but just maybe.
I'm not mad, but I'm fucking mad, and just don't ever do it again.
I'm not mad because I know he's not trying to bang her, but it's just like, don't do it, because I don't need to go around now knowing that she's gonna be like, oh, he still wants to fuck me because he's liking my naked pictures.
It doesn't necessarily mean that when you like a pic, but I think as girls we're almost programmed to think that that's how it is. And I also know
the kind of people that some people are, you know what I mean? Like and it's just like, I just don't want that also for everyone else. Like my friend, like sometimes I also think about like, oh, like what if my friend sees like your name is gonna be the first one, like Veronica's boyfriend, like this half naked picture of this girl, like that we all know that he was with, like, you know what I mean? Like it's also that, like it's just like, okay, like it in your head, you know what? I really don't give a shit. Girls are hot, girls are beautiful. I'm not the type of person to be like, you can't look at anybody. Like I'll literally be like, that girl's hot, that girl's hot, wow, she's pretty. We'll both be like, wow, she's pretty. But it really it'll bother me if it's somebody that he slept with, which I feel like is fair. I don't get the girls that are like, don't like anybody's picture. Don't fucking like any girl. I'm like, hey, what are you expecting here? Like, unfollow all the girls on Instagram. Like,
no. And I think when you become that girlfriend who's very like, unfollow her, this and that, you almost create like they know if they don't ever end up with you, that they're gonna go ahead and do the total opposite because they're gonna want to rebel. So guys, if you're in that state where you're feeling jealous or whatever, the worst thing you could do is tell a guy unfollow her, because he's gonna run to her after and be like, my girlfriend wanted me to unfollow you because you're so hot and she didn't want. It's almost like you put in their head that that's a girl that clearly you're jealous of because she's pretty. So you're putting in their head that when you break up, that's the way they're gonna get you jealous, and that's the type of person that would bother you.
Exactly.
So bang on that one.
Okay, but do you think that? What about like exes? Like, what's your opinion on your boyfriend following his ex-girlfriend or liking or whatever?
It depends. It depends what happened. It depends how long ago. But honestly, I don't really like that idea. Like, and I know you're more like, yeah, whatever, they're friends, it's fine. I just think like, okay, look, this is okay. I'll explain to you this. I've had several incidents that have happened where girls have reached out that have dated my boyfriend or whatever in the past, and it fucking bothered me for sure. For any girl, it's just something that's annoying. But I think if you know he's dating me, and you're going out of your way to message him to do some sneaky ass shit, then you clearly don't respect me. And you don't have to respect me. But at the end of the day, I'm with you. And it has nothing to do with the girlfriend. The ex-girlfriend, she could do whatever she wants. It's how you react in that situation. Like, if you know she's sliding to you and she's making that move, then I expect you to be the man and handle it and be like, she clearly has no respect for my relationship right now. So no, not to follow back, not to, unless they ended on good terms and everything and they're wishing you well and whatever. But I think if they're doing some like sneaky shit, then she has no reason to respect me. But at the end of the day, I don't expect you to give her hope, be following her, be liking her posts. And I think that's where the line draws. Like, I think you can be friends with exes, but I think it really depends. And there's like a slim line on like where it's too far and where like are they becoming friends just so that they can get back in the picture? Are they actually wishing us well? Like, that's when it gets tough.
I totally agree. I think people who get jealous over like exes that are so far and they're dating
probably married by now or whatever.
Cares, and you know what I mean? Like, people that are like that are to that point, I'm like, okay, you need to calm down. But if it's somebody who's problematic and like recently in the picture and I know does not have good intentions, that's a problem for me, because you know what, like,
that's probably the only time I'm annoyed, if you're like really liking pictures, and even at that, it's depending on the picture.
I also don't think that if somebody's this, like, for me, if somebody like that is sliding in your DMs and really trying to like really disrespecting me blatantly, I think it should be up to you. I shouldn't have to say delete her or block her or this or that. I don't want to be that person. I never want to be that person. I think it's up to you to be like, this is obviously not right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, this is not right. I'm with you now, so I don't need this. Like, I don't really care if somebody's for me, a follow doesn't mean anything. I always used to get like really bothered when my ex-boyfriend would ask me to like unfollow somebody or something like that.
That's just
I always like
stupid.
It bothered me because I was like, you know what? These are people that I don't have bad vibes with, bad blood with.
And you're creating
I don't want to start that. You know what I mean? Like, my ex-boyfriend, I don't want to unfollow him because it's just like a bad vibe after. Then it's like, what? Now I have to be awkward, and I
think if you guys are both on the same page and you both have that like past and whatever, I think it should be like a common ground. Like, look, I'm not expecting you to unfollow anyone. I'm not. And I think let's just build up our relationship and let's not worry about
I think there's just those certain exceptions that are like, look, this person obviously doesn't want anything good here. They just want to fucking, you know.
Okay, moving on. We could talk about this forever, guys. I really feel like we legitimately just had a conversation of how we actually speak and how these things affect us.
And true, though. Just to say, even the phone thing, like, it's so easy to see all these memes about going through your boyfriend's phone or being jealous. Like, that's where in your culture, and that's our culture right now. You know, like, you have all those meme pages and they joke about it, but it almost makes you think like, okay, this is right what I'm doing. But I think it's also good sometimes to take a step back and like we're talking about it and be like, look, yes, everybody does it once in a while, but it's not actually fucking good. Like, I hate when people are like, you know, everybody says a joke about it, but like, I don't want to also be the person that's like helping people be toxic and like it at the end of the day, it ruins your relationship. Like, I don't want anybody to have a ruined relationship. And social media is like, I can't imagine how jealousy existed before social media.
I know.
Before phones. Imagine before phone, when you had to fucking call somebody's house. How could you, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's our problem. We have so much access to information that we need to know everything at all times. Back in the day, you didn't know fucking shit.
If you guys didn't watch The Social Dilemma, then www.netflix.com Social Dilemma for you to realize that this world is actually fucked.
I just watched it and it's really true. And right after I watched
Veronica needs to take her pill so she doesn't get any babies.
It's not my pill alarm.
Okay, so she's trying to get pregnant.
No. It's my stop eating alarm for my intermittent fasting.
But I did want to speak about...
Okay, wait, no, I wasn't done.
Okay, sorry.
I wanted to say that after I watched The Social Dilemma, the next day I went and opened a Twitter account. So guys, go follow us on Twitter, The Chemical X Podcast. No, I think it's The Chemical X Pod. Okay, guys, sorry.
Our fucking camera died. It's been a rough
rough night.
Oh my gosh. But you were saying, Veronica, before the camera cut you off.
I was saying, don't forget to subscribe if we made you laugh. Leave a like, leave a comment. And yeah. Also, before we move on, sorry, forgot again. Check out neonific.com and use our discount code ChemicalX for 10% off.
at checkout so you could get an amazing neon sign anywhere in your house.
That
We
says
are in
100%
COVID.
trust.
There's absolutely nothing to do.
Except stare at
so
a neon sign.
everybody's refurnishing, making their house nicer. So why not throw in a neon sign and feel like you're going to a club, even if you're not? A long time ago when I was jobless, I was like,
How long
and
ago?
if you are a girl and you haven't done this, then
You're not a girl. I'm joking.
then you've never been struggling before. But I was literally like,
Then lucky
how
you.
do I make money fast? Like,
I
what
think
can
we've all Googled
we've
how to
all
get
Googled
rich fast.
how to get rich fast.
How to make money online.
Yeah. Andy Menares, if you're listening, give us more tips. But yeah, and one thing I came across was this YouTube video, and it was this girl talking about how she sold her underwears for money. And I said, honestly, not a fucking bad idea.
Honestly, I have no problem with it.
I would never do anything that I'd feel uncomfortable about. But sending an underwear, it's fucking disgusting. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, who will know?
I mean, literally, you just
Well,
package
no.
those. Only the FedEx person knows when you're there every week with a pizza package, and he's going
With a
"Man, this
smelly
girl."
package. But honestly, the reason we wanted to speak about this also is because I wanted to ask Veronica, because she's done it before, but she's just done it for free. She's got no money in return. So I wanted to know what that's like, sending it for free.
Volunteer work, guys.
Because Veronica's sending it as volunteer work. So I just want to know, what it's like. And
So,
if ever any girl is broke and wants to do it, well, I have a job now. So thankfully, I still don't make enough money and would probably still do it. But
you always need that little bit of extra cash. So this story is honestly, it's one of my top fails, and I'm sad that it has to be on a wide angle camera for me to say
a
this.
wide angle camera and your boyfriend right behind.
Yeah. So he actually knows this story. He knows all my stories. So
No reason to go through her phone, David.
when I was living in Australia, I was talking to this guy, and we met, and he left. We met, we like had a thing briefly, very briefly, and then he went back home to his country. What the fuck? Anyways, he went back home to where he came from. So we kept talking, and like
Was he in the war? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, the way that I said that, it sounds like World War II.
He went back to his country to serve.
Serve his country.
For his family.
So anyway, so we kept talking, and obviously when you have that like glimpse, that first amazing 2 weeks, 1 week of a relationship style, it's like you leave on such a high that you're like, oh my God, like
I want to know how this ties into giving an underwear
just
for free.
I need to set the stone of what's going on here.
They still think you're fucked up. You don't need to set the stone.
So anyway, so guys, he went back to his country to serve in the war. No, I'm joking. He went back to his country, and we kept talking, and this would be kind of like my experience with, you could say, some kind of long distance relationship. So it's maybe 4 months that we're talking, 4 months in, and we're like, it's long distance. You try to find ways to spice it up. You want them to remember you for the next time that you see them. Like at 4 months, it's starting to get stale. The excitement is starting to go down. You know what I mean? You haven't seen them in 4 months.
Underwear was the answer?
So I was like, I have this really fun idea. And basically my idea was that I was gonna send him a pair of my underwear in the mail. But here's the add-on. Worn underwear.
How many days?
Oh, I think like 4 minutes. No, I'm lying, like 6 hours. Like just enough to say I wore it, but not enough to say, ma queste femmina. Just enough that the FedEx person doesn't know what's in the package, okay?
Okay.
So I think I'm fucking so cute, so clever, so fun. I'm like, this is going to be the funnest gift he's ever got. So I package it up. I'm so cute. I spritz with a little perfume. Like I do this whole cute
Why
thing.
did you wear it at that point then?
I write a note, and in the note I write like, I'm like all like sketch. Like I don't write who it's from. I'm like,
Thank
trying to be like secretive, cool. I'm trying to be mysterious. Anyways.
Was it a nice thong?
I mean, I'm not going to send him my period underwear either. He's going to go, what the fuck is this?
Wow. So you lost a nice thong.
I lost a nice one.
If you're a girl, you know that when you have your good thongs, you never want to give those away.
No, you keep those for the nice days.
We have 6 ugly ones that we wear most of the time, but when we wear that 7th one, we don't want to be shipping it away.
Facts. And when I'm on vacation in Australia, I have a select pair to go to. Let me tell you. So I package up my little package and so I didn't have his address. So what I did, guys,
that should have been answer number 1.
This is how
you don't have his address. Please don't send.
Yeah, this is how you know I'm a psycho ass bitch, okay? I found his address. I don't remember how the fuck that I did it. I knew like the number of his house, but I didn't know the street. I looked up at his elementary school. I don't even remember how I did it, but somehow I found his address, okay? Found his address somehow, I think. So I get his address, sketchily, whatever. I'm literally on Google Maps looking. Whatever, find his address, and then I go to the post office, and I'm with my 2 friends, okay? So we go to the post office, and apparently in Australia, if you're sending something internationally, you need to say what's inside the fucking package.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. So there's a line behind me.
I'd rather say there's a weapon than say my fucking
literally
used thong.
I was about to say give it back. So I'm there with my 2 friends, and there's a line behind me, okay? And the girl goes, okay, what's inside? I'm like... What do you mean? And she's like, well, I need to write it on the pack. I need to say like what the code is, like what product it is. I'm like, oh, it's clothes. She's like, yeah, well, what like article of clothing?
Okay.
Guys, when the word underwear came out of my mouth, what did you want her to say? What did you want her to say? She looked at me. She looked down at the paper. She said, I don't give a fuck. And she wrote the number. And I went, honestly, I hate my life. And the fact that she wrote down on the thing, underwear, I went, I'm thinking.
Surprise is ruined.
Surprise? Immediately ruined. She stuck that yellow piece of paper straight on the package so that anybody who picks it up knows that it's underwear. And not even panties.
God.
Not even to be cute panties.
What's your fault? You
underwear.
said underwear.
Well, what am I telling her? A thong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you should have said.
So anyways, so that was the first red flag. Red flag, okay?
Well, we've given you guys a lot of red flags, but this is one that Veronica's done that I'm embarrassed for her.
So anyways, so that's my first red flag. I let it go. She ships it and she's like, look, do you want to get it with tracking or not? She goes, tracking $40. I'm like,
even if she would have said $7.95, you would have said no tracking, please. We are on a budget.
$7.99 was the price without the tracking, and I went, look, that underwear right there was like $15.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not gonna speak to this
is
guy
a little
in a
bit
month.
high.
I'm not gonna speak to this guy in a month. He's not that worth it.
He's
worth $7, but he ain't worth $40.
She's like, should be there in like 2 weeks. But no, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? No tracking. YOLO. Don't know why I said this. Suspense.
Fun.
Who cares? It'll get there. Guys, 1 month later. And I don't tell him, okay? Because you want it to be a surprise.
I've never heard of surprise, you guys.
Just to remind you, I didn't really know his address. And also, he lived with his mom. So I'm like,
are you insane?
I'm a fucking idiot. So I'm like, if she is the one to pick up that package and open that fucking package, I will disintegrate. I will pass away.
I can't deal.
Okay. So I almost passed away. Anyway, so 1 month goes by and then he tells me that he's moving to the city to go to college. I'm like, when? When are you moving to the city? He's like, in a week. I'm like, no. I have this pair of underwear getting shipped to his house.
Let me tell you how much you wished you had tracking.
Guys, I wished I had anything. I wish I didn't fucking do it. I'm like, I don't even know if it's his address. His mom's gonna open it. It didn't get there.
Crazy.
Moral of the story is I had to tell him because I said, look.
You told him?
I told him. Are you joking? I'm not gonna make a fucking pair of underwear. I said, look, I sent
Veronica,
you
you didn't put your name or anything. Could have been from anyone. I would have just winged it. But when his mom or daughter's opening it, let me tell you, would have been excited to open it. The dog. If you have a dog, you know that they fucking love underwears. Sometimes I'll be like to my dog, bitch, come here with my fucking underwear. Like, it's not for your amusement.
Anyway, guys.
I can make money off this shit.
Literally. Pass it over. Spot. Anyways, so guys, also I forgot to mention that at this point our relationship is on the rocks. Like, it's not doing well anymore. And I'm like, he's moving to college. The underwear is getting there. His mom's opening.
The second it was
We're breaking up. It's all a mess, guys. So I had to tell him. I said, look, I did this, and he was like, wow. What did you want him to say? He said, wow, that's so crazy. No, I never received it. And I said, look, I'm just letting you know, tell your mom that if she gets a package, not to fucking open it.
Oh
and
my
2 weeks
God.
later, we broke up and we never spoke again. So guys, if you need a sign not to send your underwear across the world with no tracking number and not the right address, don't fucking do it.
I think most people are not dumb enough to do that.
Well,
but I think, you know what?
I'm adventurous, not dumb.
I realized that
I'm spontaneous.
after your situation, I would have at least made money on it and just sent it to a random guy who damn sure would give me his direct address.
Well, let me tell you who is enjoying themselves, and it's the FedEx guy who found that package and went,
Ew.
wow.
Guys, if you're watching on Spotify, she literally just smelled her underwear. Kind of like
Okay,
your
whoa.
dog would.
But yeah, so that was probably like the worst thing that
But
I've ever done.
When I was doing research on like how people send underwear and stuff, so the way it works is like every day you wear your thong or underwear, whatever they're into, which is fucking creepy if you really think about it, you get more money. So let's say you wear it for a day, you won't get as much money as if you wear it for 5 days. But realistically, being a girl, like, it's fucking nasty to wear.
5 days.
It's fucking disgusting to be wearing an underwear for 5 days.
A guy can get
Like, what do
away
you
with
put
a
it-
boxer.
Just fucking take oatmeal and just shove it in your thong at that point.
I wish I never heard that. Okay, guys, bye.
On that note, we're getting a little too comfortable here, but basically, Veronica sent her underwear for $0, and his mom opened it.
No, the FedEx guy
And the
opened
dog
it.
enjoyed it.
By the way, guys, it never got there. Just to let you know, that underwear is still to this day lost. So if you're listening and you have a pair of red lace underwear that were sprayed with Asian provocateur femme fatale perfume, you know who they belong to.
Veronica's trying to seem really good here, but the key word in all of this is she didn't send her agent provocateur underwear.
I spritzed them with the Asian provocateur
He spritzed
perfume.
them with the perfume. So she knows what she's doing here. On that note, guys,
See you next week.
see you next week.
Wow, I died right as you said that.
Crazy.